I have been deeply in love with my boyfriend for 5 years, a love that I believed was returned with equal intensity. On the very eve of our engagement party, an event for which I had specifically used my personal savings to prepare a grand wedding banquet, he chose that moment to make a stunning announcement. Speaking in German at the party, he declared to his friends that I was not his real bride. The true bride, it turned out, was his childhood sweetheart, a woman from a family of equal social standing. She was present and even mocked me bitterly, which caused the entire group to erupt in laughter. She was just a pastime for me when I was bored, he said. Sophia and I are the true love match from equal backgrounds. My boyfriend Liam was feeling incredibly smug, completely unaware that I am fluent in 23 languages. Not only that, but he had taken the very savings I gave him for our future and used them to buy a diamond ring for his childhood flame. He even boasted about how he planned to humiliate me at the official wedding banquet. I simply could not let this stand. I decided then and there that he was the one who was in for a very big surprise. Sweetheart, when are you getting off work? I'm almost finished here, I said into the phone, my voice so sugary sweet it made the salon staff around me shiver. I'm still busy over here. You'll have to wait for me a little longer. Liam Vance spoke hurriedly, his tone suggesting something incredibly important was occupying him. But our reservation at the restaurant is coming up soon. How much longer will you be? I felt a seed of disappointment plant itself inside me, but I've always known how extremely driven he is when it comes to his work, so I told myself I couldn't really blame him for anything. Geez, why are you asking so many questions? You don't know anything about company matters. I've got a contract issue here. I'll call you back later. With that abrupt statement, the phone line went dead, replaced by a monotonous, busy tone. Liam's tone was unusually impatient. In all our years together, he has never spoken to me like that before. What was going on with him today? I felt a growing sense of discomfort and a significant amount of disappointment. After all, we had been in love for 5 years. And during that time, he had always been incredibly caring and attentive towards me, never once treating me with such a dismissive attitude. Just transfer the money directly from my card, I told the shop assistant hastily. I have something to attend to and need to leave now. Thinking that something serious might have happened at his company, I gripped my phone tightly and hurried out of the salon, making my way towards Liam's office building. Liam is a rising star in the business world with a growing reputation. Despite his privileged background, he never used his status to bully others. On the contrary, he was known for being gentle and kind. We met during our postgraduate studies abroad, and it felt like love at first sight. I loved him deeply, and I was convinced he loved me just as much. We had been supporting each other all this way, from students to our professional lives today. Over the past 5 years, all my classmates and friends have said that he gave me his sincere heart, that he was completely devoted to me and cherished me deeply. I, too, was genuine with him, secretly helping his career in many ways and standing firmly by his side during his most challenging times. As a result of this shared history, we both naturally developed the idea of marrying each other. Today marked the 5th anniversary of our relationship, and we had made plans weeks ago to celebrate at a highly popular and exclusive restaurant. However, his behavior was so unusual that it left me feeling somewhat at a loss. Miss Sterling, could you please wait here for a moment? As soon as I arrived at the company's entrance, the receptionist stopped me, her expression quite awkward. Why? I frowned, a sense of confusion washing over me. Back when I used to bring Liam meals every day to take care of his health, she never so much as questioned my presence. Mr. Vance is currently meeting with very important clients. It might not be convenient for him to see you right now. The receptionist forced a smile and took hold of my arm. Miss Sterling, why don't you rest on the sofa first? You can go up after Mr. Vance finishes his meeting. What would you like to drink? I'll get it for you. I felt a strong sense that something was off in my heart. So I abruptly withdrew my hand from her grasp and walked straight toward the elevator. The receptionist was so startled by my sudden move that she immediately followed me, desperately blocking the elevator doors to prevent me from going up. At that moment, a serious doubt arose in my mind, and I even began to entertain some very unpleasant possibilities. Could it be that Liam was cheating on me? As the floor numbers climbed higher and the red arrow kept jumping, my heartbeat quickened along with it. In my mind, I imagined countless scenarios of what I might see when I reached his office, and I struggled to suppress my rising panic. Soon, I arrived at Liam's office area. By this time of day, most of the company's employees had already left, making the entire floor unusually quiet. I walked to Liam's office door and was just about to push it open when I heard bursts of laughter coming from inside. "It's been so long. I never expected you to turn out like this." My heart skipped a beat. This voice was all too familiar to me. This was Liam's childhood friend, Sophia Croft. The two of them grew up together, and Sophia's family also had some influence in the city. To outsiders, they seemed perfectly matched, and many had assumed they would eventually end up together. Later, Liam went abroad for graduate school and met me. After we got together, he always maintained what I thought were proper boundaries and never contacted Sophia. I never, ever expected to run into the two of them together in his office today. I can't help it. You know my situation after all. You understand me best. Of course. I thought you'd forget about me once you fell in love. The two of them bantered back and forth, their tone dripping with an unmistakable ambiguity. Sophia's bell-like laughter was particularly grating on my ears, making me feel as if I were the outsider. "Aren't you afraid she'll find out you're secretly meeting me here?" Sophia's high heels clicked on the floor, the rhythmic sound indicating her approach towards Liam. Liam's office was semi-transparent, with a thin layer of frosted film on the glass windows that faintly revealed the silhouettes of the two people inside. Then, I saw Liam take a hand and gently caress it. "Even if she finds out, I have my ways to handle it. Don't worry. I trust you. I'm just afraid she might make unreasonable demands of you," Sophia said, giving him what looked like a playful scolding tap. Then the two of them said something else that wasn't quite audible. My eyes gradually welled up with tears, and a powerful wave of grievance surged in my heart. Could it be that Liam had really betrayed me? "What are you doing?" Hearing my voice, the two of them seemed startled, quickly pulling apart from where their shoulders had been close together, their faces flustered with panic. "Chloe, why did you come over? Didn't I ask you to wait for me at the nail salon for a while?" Liam forced an awkward smile, walked over and put his arm around my shoulder. "Did I make you wait too long? There was a lot going on at the company today, so I got held up. In the evening, what would you like to eat? I'll buy it for you as an apology." Liam was still being his usual caring self. Looking at his gentle eyes, I couldn't help but soften, and my tone became much milder. "I thought something urgent had happened at your company, so I rushed over to find you. Are you okay?" "I'm fine, sweetheart. You've had a long day." Liam let out a sigh of relief and affectionately booped my nose. Sophia walked over at that moment, tucking a strand of hair behind her ear and looking at me with a beaming smile. "You have no idea how much he loves you. He was just bragging to me about how happy you two are and how much you love him too. It made me so jealous." After saying this, Sophia teased Liam with a raised eyebrow. "You two better stay together and keep being happy forever." Hearing her words, I felt much more at ease and planted a kiss on Liam's cheek. "Liam and I will definitely be happy. I'll treat him well." "Me too, Chloe. I originally planned to be on time for our appointment today, but I had to delay because I was preparing a little surprise for you." He pulled out a box. "This is a limited edition diamond ring I specially commissioned from an overseas designer. There's only one like it in the world. Even though you've verbally agreed to our engagement, I could never let you go without something tangible. So, I bought this for you as a token of my commitment." Looking at Liam's sincere and expectant expression, I covered my mouth, deeply moved as I gazed at the sparkling diamond ring. Memories of our 5 years together came flooding back, filling my heart with uncontrollable sweetness. "Thank you, hubby," I said happily, wrapping my arms around Liam's neck and nuzzling his ear. "I have a surprise for you, too. I'll tell you during dinner later." "All right, enough with the PDA, I'm still here." Sophia chuckled softly, walking over to put an arm around my shoulder. "Happy wedding. May you have a lifetime of happiness together. We've received your blessings, but Chloe and I are in a hurry to celebrate our 5th anniversary, so we'll catch up with you later." Liam took my hand and gently caressed it. "Remember to come to our engagement party." Sophia said goodbye with a smile, then left. Liam and I walked out arm in arm, my face beaming with joy. "By the way, have you chosen your outfit for the engagement day?" I heard from your assistant that you haven't gone for a fitting yet, I said as I sat in the passenger seat, fastening my seatbelt. Good thing you reminded me. I've already thought it through. Since you're putting so much effort into this engagement, I certainly can't lag behind. Once this collaboration period is over, I'll go try it on immediately. Liam gave a faint smile and ruffled my hair. I never thought I'd actually get to marry you. Turns out the happiness from dreams can come true. Of course, I love you so much. That's why I want our engagement party to be absolutely perfect. Don't you dare find me annoying. I pretended to be angry, wrinkling my nose playfully at Liam. Liam took my hand, gazing tenderly at the ring. How could I? I cherish you more than anything. I happily planted a kiss on his lips. Hurry up or we'll miss our reservation. My stomach is growling with hunger. Along the way, I kept telling him about the engagement process and the funny things that happened, but he didn't seem to be listening. Occasionally, he would force a laugh or two in response. I assumed it was because he was too tired lately and didn't think much of it. After dinner, I deliberately suggested taking a walk back, actually planning to give him the surprise I had prepared. Chloe, thank you for all these years, for supporting me and being patient with me. Now that our family has money, I will never let you down, Liam said, tightening his grip on my hand, a warm emotion coursing through my entire body. I know you've been working hard too. The Vance family owes today's prosperity to you. For a better life ahead, I have a gift for you. What gift? He asked, looking curious. I pulled out a bank card from my bag and handed it to Liam with a smile. This contains all my savings over the years. It's not much, just $500,000. I don't want you to always be the one sacrificing for me. After all, no one's money grows on trees, so I'm offering it as our wedding fund. I spoke with great excitement. This was the first money I'd earned after leaving home to make my way on my own, saved up through part-time work while studying for my master's degree. Taking it out today to use for our engagement banquet filled me with immense happiness. Isn't this too unfair to you? This is your hard-earned money. As a man, I can't accept it from you. Liam hesitated, pushing the card back into my hand. Come on, marriage is about both of us. This is what I should do. Hurry up and take it. I'm in a rush to get home and check the design drafts for our engagement banquet backdrop. With a decisive wave of my hand, I firmly placed the card back into Liam's pocket, leaving no room for refusal. Liam held me tightly in his arms. The night breeze was cool, yet I felt incredibly warm. All right, I'm almost home. You should head back and rest early, and don't forget to try on the suit, I reminded him before getting out of the car and heading home. After returning home, I lay in bed, staring at the ring on my ring finger, overwhelmed with excitement and joy, eagerly anticipating the day Liam and I would walk down the aisle. Lost in these thoughts, I couldn't sleep. So, I opened the engagement ceremony process sent by the MC and studied it again. The engagement preparations proceeded step by step. I visited the venue almost every day, putting my heart and soul into making this engagement banquet perfect. Honey, let's not invite our parents to the engagement, okay? I'm afraid your parents might not approve of me. Let's just have a few classmates witness it. We can invite both sets of parents when we officially get married. It won't be too late then. On the eve of our engagement, I held Liam's arm and cattishly pleaded. Whatever you say, Liam didn't object, simply nodding with a smile and agreeing to my request. I had never mentioned my family background to Liam. He always thought I was a girl from an ordinary family who had made it to a top-tier foreign university for graduate studies purely through academic excellence. But in reality, my father was the wealthiest man in Yuncheng, and I was the heir of a prominent family. I planned to reveal this to him at the formal wedding. That way, he wouldn't feel pressured by my status. Now, soon, the day of our engagement banquet arrived. The guests were all our former graduate school classmates, along with Liam's childhood friends, and of course, Sophia. Sophia is here too. After all these years, she's become so beautiful. Don't forget, Sophia was the campus belle during our college days. Back then, many people said she and Liam were a match made in heaven. Don't talk nonsense. His real girlfriend is right here. One of them immediately reminded the group, which finally shut the mouths of those who loved to tease, leaving them all looking at me awkwardly. That was all so long ago. Now Liam loves Miss Sterling, and I sincerely wish them both happiness. Sophia raised her glass and smiled at me. I felt a little bothered by their words, but seeing my hand tightly holding Liam's, I felt reassured. Don't talk nonsense. I love Chloe deeply. If you make her angry, I won't let you off. Liam also stood up to speak for me and even kissed me, making everyone envious. The banquet officially began, and amidst the clinking of glasses, a few people started pulling Liam aside to chat and laugh. Liam, are you really planning to marry this woman? She's not from the same social class as you. Do you think your parents will agree? Liam majored in German during his postgraduate studies, so naturally his friends and classmates used this language to communicate with him. German. I pursed my lips and listened quietly. Back when I was in school, I had self-studied many languages and became fluent in 23 of them, so understanding their conversation was no issue at all. Just as I was anticipating sweet nothings in German from his lips, Liam dealt me a heavy blow. I heard him say casually, dripping with sarcasm, "How could that be? I was just playing around with her. Once I get bored, I'll kick her to the curb. My bride will only ever be Sophia, and the one I love is Sophia. What does she even amount to?" At that moment, I stood petrified, rooted to the spot, unable to move for what felt like an eternity. His words kept echoing in my mind, so heartless, cold, even disdainful, I couldn't breathe. My throat choked up, unable to utter a single syllable. All I felt was an icy numbness, my heart plunging into a frozen abyss. His friends couldn't help but give him thumbs up, marveling at his incredible patience for enduring a 5-year relationship with me without growing weary. I didn't even invest anything. This ring is just a fake I bought. And who knew this foolish woman would hand over all her savings to me? At the actual wedding, I'll call off the engagement on the spot and marry Sophia instead. Liam was gloating with pride. His repulsive expression was something I'd never seen before, making me nauseous. I bit my lip and quickly muttered, "I need to go to the restroom. Be careful." Before the words could fully leave their mouths, I fled in panic. In the restroom, I hid in a stall, crying my heart out, tears streaming down my face. I never imagined that the man I had loved wholeheartedly for 5 years would turn out to be insincere, full of disgust and loathing toward me. "Why did you do this to me?" I pounded the wall in frustration, venting my inner agony. My cries grew until I had no voice left, yet my tears continued to flow uncontrollably. The memories of 5 years together played vividly before my eyes. Every kiss, every anniversary, every argument, every reconciliation, all unforgettable. The person I thought had brought me happiness was actually brewing a storm of suffering, teaching me the deepest and most painful lesson of all. As I wiped away my tears, I caught sight of the ring on my hand and laughed at myself mockingly. I picked up my phone and searched for the designer of this diamond ring. She had previously designed jewelry for my mother, so we were acquainted. I asked her if a man named Liam had purchased a diamond ring she designed here, and her answer was exactly what I expected. She said, Mr. Vance loves his fiancée very much, and even went to great expense to customize the inscription inside the rings. There was another card clearly inscribed with, "To my beloved Miss Sophia." My arms fell limp as I raised my head and burst into tears again, the wetness soaking my temples. I already knew they were truly in love. So why did I still ask? Perhaps it was to completely give up, to finally put an end to my foolish love. I removed the ring that didn't belong to me from my finger. And just like this love, I threw it into the trash. These 5 years of feelings, just like this ring, were all fake, all a pretense. The truth had been hidden beneath Liam's masterful performance, blinding me all along. Liar. I wished I could slap him twice right now, then kick him away with all my might. But I held back, knowing I shouldn't let him off so easily. I must tear off his hypocritical mask and humiliate him before the entire city. I struggled to calm my emotions, burying this matter deep in my heart, pretending to know nothing. I forced myself to endure the pain and return to the banquet hall. "What's wrong? You don't seem to be in good spirits." Liam noticed my swollen eyes and asked with concern. Seeing those eyes of his that were so good at pretending, I felt a chill run down my spine. My heart ached so much I could barely breathe, and I felt utterly worthless for myself. "It's nothing. I just got a call from a very close friend, and hearing her blessings moved me deeply. I forced myself to respond gently, though my heart was filled with resentment. Liam saw that I was fine, then raised his glass to everyone. Today is the day of my engagement with Chloe. I mainly wanted everyone to bear witness. I will love her, protect her, and never leave her for the rest of my life. For all eternity, until death do us part. Liam raised his glass and spoke these cheesy lines, causing everyone to erupt in teasing. For all eternity, until death do us part. I couldn't help but sneer coldly. Liam, soon you'll pay the price for what you've done. Adjusting my emotions, I linked arms with Liam and leaned intimately against his shoulder. Thank you all for coming to our engagement party. We'll always be happy. I deliberately turned my gaze toward Sophia, swiftly catching the jealousy in her eyes as her grip on the wine glass tightened. After the engagement banquet ended, the sky had completely darkened. His friends, thoroughly drunk, supported each other on their way home, leaving only me, Liam, and Sophia behind. I didn't drive here today. Could you give me a ride? My place happens to be on the way with Liam's. He's been the one giving me rides home before. Sophia spoke up first. Perhaps the intimate gestures between me and Liam at the party just now made her feel threatened, prompting her to eagerly show me how close they are. Chloe, do you think that's okay? Liam threw the question to me, seemingly wanting to test my reaction. My heart has long been like a stagnant pool of water, with no desire to speak. A faint smile lingered at the corners of my lips as I nodded slightly, making it impossible for others to discern my emotions. Then I wouldn't feel at ease leaving you alone either. How about I call a car for Chloe, or have our family driver take her home? My answer clearly took Liam by surprise. He held my hand and spoke gently and thoughtfully. It's unnecessary, I said, naturally letting go of the hand he was holding. I know you and Miss Croft grew up together. She's like a little sister to you. I won't say anything if you take her home. Go ahead. Hearing me say this, Liam finally relaxed and gave me a hug. Then be safe and keep in touch with me at all times. I nodded and watched as the two got into the car. As soon as the car started, my expression turned cold, and I took out my phone to call my special assistant. Follow Liam's car immediately, keep an eye on their every move, and no matter what happens, record it and send it to me. Yes, miss. The assistant acknowledged my order, and soon a black sedan drove past me, closely pursuing Liam's car as he was on the phone. I curled my lips into a smile. Since you've destroyed my happiness, don't blame me for being ruthless. After arranging this matter, the driver sent to pick me up arrived just in time. I got into the car and returned to the Sterling family's old mansion. Mom, I agree to take over the company. My mother was so shocked by the news that she couldn't even hold her cup steady. Weren't you always unwilling to come back to work for the company? You even talked about wanting to start your own business. What made you change your mind now? Although happy, my mother was still very curious about my decision. The year I turned 18, my parents wanted me to take over the family business. However, back then, I didn't want to be tied down by the family enterprise for the rest of my life. So I went against their wishes and went abroad for graduate studies. My parents were quite open-minded. Although they had reservations about my choice, they didn't blame me for it. I'm getting married, I said nonchalantly, to the Vance family's heir, Liam. What? My mother's hand, which had just picked up her cup, trembled again as she looked at me in disbelief. Why so sudden? I've never heard you mention this before. I met him during my graduate studies abroad. We've been dating for 5 years. I didn't tell you back then because I was afraid you'd object and try to pull me back to inherit the family business. But now that we're getting married, I thought it was only right to let you and Dad know. I hid Liam's affair. Otherwise, given my mom's temper, she'd demand justice for me right away. There'd be no waiting until the wedding banquet. I've heard about that boy, too. The industry doesn't have the worst opinion of him, but he's still not good enough for you. Are you really going to marry him? My mom looked at me with confusion, her face full of concern. Don't worry, Mom. I won't let anyone hurt me. This wedding banquet is definitely happening. I took a deep breath and nodded firmly. So you took over the company because of him, too? But the Vance family's influence is mediocre. I'm worried he's after your family's wealth, Mom said. Mom? I interrupted, holding her hand. He doesn't know I'm the heir of the wealthiest family. He thinks I'm just a girl from an ordinary background. I took over the company to give myself some confidence so no one would dare to bully me after I marry into their family. Hearing this, my mother finally let out a sigh of relief and smiled at me. That puts my mind at ease. Your father and I have always trusted your judgment. If you ever feel wronged, just tell me. A mere Liam isn't even worth your attention. With a smile, I hugged my mom, while already scheming in my heart about how to make Liam lose face throughout the entire city. After discussing matters with my mom, I sent a message to Liam informing him that I wouldn't be back tonight. He replied with an okay almost instantly. At the same time, I received a video from my assistant showing that Liam and Sophia didn't go home, but instead went to Yunling Hotel, which happens to be one of our family's properties. Over an hour later, the two walked out arm in arm, Sophia looking blissful as she clung tightly to Liam. Then the two of them drove to a bar on West Street and never came out. Looking at the evidence, I smiled with satisfaction. Immediately after, I instructed my assistant to spread the news that the Sterling family was seeking a business partner. I was confident that Liam, who had always been eager for quick success in his career, wouldn't miss this opportunity. Chloe, I have an important business meeting next week. Could you help me iron my suit this weekend? When I got home, I saw the hungover Liam emerging from the bedroom, disheveled. What kind of business meeting? I asked, pretending to bring it up casually while observing his expression. The Sterling families, he said. You even know about the Sterling family? I thought you never inquired or cared about these matters. Liam poured himself a glass of water and patiently explained to me. The Sterling family is the wealthiest in the city. Many companies are scrambling to collaborate with them. The competition is fierce this time, so I have to take it seriously. Is that so? I raised my chin slightly and said with a smile. Then I'll make sure to help you properly. You're truly my better half. Marrying you is such a blessing. Liam hugged me tightly from behind, coaxing me. I nodded with a half smile, my eyes flickering as a glint of triumphant pleasure flashed through them. Of course, I'm the best to you. As I spoke, I secretly instructed my assistant to select Liam as the business partner. Though this project was actually just an empty shell, a bait I had set out to lure Liam in. After the negotiation meeting, Liam secured the partnership qualification, which thrilled him so much that he dragged me into celebrating for several days straight. Shortly after the negotiation meeting came our wedding. On the wedding day, the Vance family hosted a banquet for many relatives and friends, while I also invited prominent figures from the city. For such a grand spectacle, the more people, the livelier it became. So you're Chloe Sterling? Liam's mother glanced at me hostilely. I really don't know what he sees in you. No money, no influence. Utterly useless to our Vance family. Mrs. Vance, your son and I are about to get married. Your words now are pointless. You'd better think about how to get along with me in the future. Without the slightest fear, I completely abandoned my usual docile demeanor and directly refuted Mrs. Vance's words. You dare speak to me like this before even marrying into the family? You truly don't know your place. Everyone here today is from the Vance family. If you dare speak disrespectfully again, don't blame me for teaching you a lesson in front of all these people. Mrs. Vance snorted coldly, her tone full of threat and warning. Then I'd like to see just how capable you are. Let's see whether your son gets taught a lesson first or whether you manage to teach me one. How dare you? Defy the heavens. It seems I must show you today what the Vance family rules truly mean. As soon as the words fell, Mrs. Vance made a move as if to strike me. I'd like to see who dares to bully my daughter. As these words rang out, accompanied by the opening of the banquet hall doors, my parents arrived at the wedding venue, arm in arm, followed by a grand entourage of black-suited bodyguards, making a truly imposing sight. Mrs. Vance, I think you've forgotten who makes the rules in this city. Since when do you get to lecture my daughter? My mother walked over and put her arm around my shoulders. Her measured tone fell on everyone's ears, astonishing all present. This Chloe is actually the heir of the Sterling family? Why didn't I realize it before? No way. I thought Liam married some country bumpkin, but she's actually the daughter of the richest man. So you're saying that recently when Liam secured the Sterling family's business partnership, it was also because of Chloe, right? Instantly, whispers erupted everywhere. You're actually the Sterling family's daughter? My son never mentioned this to me. Mrs. Vance's pupils contracted sharply in shock, and she hurriedly offered an apologetic smile to my mother. I failed to recognize Mount Tai. I had no idea this was your esteemed daughter. If your daughter were to marry into our family, the Vance household would be immensely honored. Who was it that just made all that noise and said they were going to teach me a lesson? Mrs. Vance, you're changing your tune a bit too quickly, aren't you? I despise hypocrites like you the most, and I don't want to go through with this marriage anymore. My voice rang out clearly in the ears of everyone present. Liam being publicly rejected by the Sterling family isn't something that happens every day, and everyone eagerly watched the drama unfold. The engagement has already been set. You can't just call it off like that. Don't worry, I'll treat you well. I spoke too harshly earlier. Please don't take it to heart. You've been dating my son for 5 years now. Don't let me affect your relationship. Mrs. Vance quickly tried to salvage the situation, grabbing my hand with an ingratiating smile. Mom, what happened? Liam rushed over in a hurry, followed closely by Sophia, her lipstick smeared, with half of it even ending up on the groom's lips. You darn kid! Why didn't you tell me earlier that this Chloe is the heir of the Sterling family? Liam gaped in shock, turning to me in disbelief. You're the heir of the richest family? How come you never mentioned it? You never asked me. Or does my identity make you feel pressured? I blinked innocently on purpose. How could that be? I truly love you for who you are. Your identity means nothing to me. Liam laughed awkwardly, yet his gaze never left me. I never imagined I'd actually marry the daughter of the Sterling family. This is such a surprise. Liam forced a cheerful tone, but I could see panic on his face. Do you really think it's a surprise? Seems more like a shock to me. I clapped my hands, and suddenly the speakers at the wedding venue started playing a recorded conversation. When are you going to come clean with that witch Chloe? Every time I see you two being all lovey-dovey, it drives me crazy. The girl's voice was sweet and delicate, but the scolding and reproach in her words were unmistakable. Don't rush me, Sophia. After all, I've been in a relationship with her for 5 years. I have to play my part till the very end. This sentence was spoken by Liam, filled with disdain and mockery. Besides, what is she compared to you? On the wedding day, I'll announce the cancellation of the engagement with her and marry you instead. Our families are truly well matched. Her thinking she could marry me is nothing but a pipe dream. After saying this, Liam and the other person burst into laughter, the speakers filled with their piercing laughter. This audio was found in the car's dash cam. Liam thought I never drove because I couldn't, so he never deleted the dash cam footage, naturally leaving behind this piece of evidence. Didn't you say you'd break off the engagement with me on the spot? Why aren't you saying it now? Don't keep Miss Croft behind you waiting too long. I looked at the two of them with sarcasm in my eyes. At this moment, the jealousy and hatred in Sophia's eyes were practically overflowing. You heard wrong. The person in there isn't me. Sophia, is it you who wants to break us apart? That's why you deliberately set me up. Liam immediately turned around to glare at her. I couldn't help but marvel at how quickly he changed his attitude. It could probably break a world record. Liam, what nonsense are you spouting? Have you forgotten your promise to marry me? Who was it that proposed to me at Cloud Ridge Hotel, saying only I was worthy of you? Sophia's eyes instantly reddened as she stamped her foot in fury. Now that you know she's the heir of the Sterling family, you want to go back on your word and kick me aside over my dead body? Shut up, you vile woman. It was you who seduced me in the first place. You've always been trying to come between Chloe and me. Everyone knows that. Now you dare fabricate recordings to ruin our relationship? You're utterly malicious. Get out of my wedding. You're not welcome here. Liam was also driven to desperation, never expecting Sophia to spill everything. He hastily found an excuse to drive her away. You beast! Now you're pretending not to know me? Have you forgotten all those sweet nothings you whispered in my ear, giving me a real ring while giving Chloe a fake one? At these words, Liam was left speechless. He wanted to shove Sophia away, but I stopped him. What? The ring you gave me was actually fake, Liam? After 5 years together, I never knew you were this kind of person. You disgust me. Let me explain. She forced me into it. She used our childhood friendship to pressure me into marriage, so I had to string her along because I was afraid she'd hurt you, Chloe. Liam spoke with such earnest affection, but all I felt was disgust. Really? So, when you said in German that the bride could only be Sophia, were you also deceiving your brothers? My words shocked Liam, who frowned deeply. You actually understood. So you knew all along, and today was your deliberate setup. Everything today is the consequence of your own actions and has nothing to do with me. You're the one who cheated, the one who's two-faced, and the one who's utterly hypocritical. I do understand German. So, Liam, stop pretending to be devoted in front of me. It's beyond shameless. I slowly walked up to him and slapped him across the face. I treated you with sincerity, and this is how you repay me. I won't let you get away with this. Chloe, so what if you're the heir of the Sterling family? Drop that superior attitude of yours. For 5 years, you've been fawning over me, and now you think you can just kick me to the curb? Not a chance. Liam, seeing no room for negotiation left, stopped pretending and bared his fangs, roaring at me. I raised my hand and slapped him again, gripping his chin fiercely. You worthless scum! I must have been blind to ever fall for you. Someone who betrays another's sincerity like you deserves to pay the price. What price? All I did was get kicked aside by you. At least I've left my mark on your life. You'll never forget me for the rest of your days. Liam smirked smugly, showing no trace of anger. His petty demeanor fueling my irritation. Oh, forgot to mention, our Sterling family has decided to terminate cooperation with you. That project has been scrapped. And as for the hefty penalty fee, you'll have to cover it since it's your name signed on the contract. I watched him with amusement as he froze upon hearing this, his face flooding with panic. You played me, Chloe. You planned this all along. This partnership was a trap. Your revenge. Liam finally snapped out of it, struggling as he shouted at me. Yes, aren't you going to beg for mercy yet? I nodded frankly, my expression turning cold as I stared at him. I had to get an apology. I was wrong, Chloe. I was led astray and ended up doing such a terrible thing. Will you forgive me? I promise I'll treat you just like before with all my heart and won't be fooled by Sophia again. Chloe, you're deliberately humiliating us. Why do you get to be happy? Why do you get to have everything? Sophia screamed hysterically, lunging at me like a madwoman. Enough! I raised my hand, signaling the black-suited bodyguards to restrain them. It's time to end this farce. Take them away. I never want to see these two again. With that, the bodyguards escorted Liam and Sophia away. As they were led off, Liam kept begging for my mercy and forgiveness. But any affection I once had for him had long since vanished. After the two were thrown out by the bodyguards, the wedding ceased to exist. After apologizing to the guests present, I sent the evidence of Liam's infidelity to the media. Soon, the news of our broken engagement spread throughout the city. Liam didn't dare to leave his house, and no one was willing to collaborate with the Vance family anymore. They became utterly disgraced, like rats scurrying across the street. Not only that, the Vance family also had to pay a hefty penalty for breach of contract. The Vances are now in complete decline, and there hasn't been any news about them for a long time. As for Sophia, she was labeled by the media as a homewrecker, a white lotus, and a scheming bitch. No one wanted to associate with her anymore. The Croft family gradually abandoned her, forbidding her from going out to embarrass them and keeping her locked up at home. As for me, I had long moved on from that relationship, giving my youth a proper closure. Now, I devote myself wholeheartedly to managing the company, and in my free time, I still travel across the country to learn and explore. Through these experiences, I've learned that staying away from toxic men, cutting losses in time, and loving yourself are the true beginnings of happiness.